Hello and greetings and salutations and welcome to Tarot Time. So we're going to dive into the energies of the week ahead using tarot and other divination tools. And at the end, we'll do a little group meditation and process. So we have a lot going on this week. It's going to be very energetically active. Of course, there's the summit with Putin and Trump, and then Zelensky is going to meet with Trump. So there's that. And we talked about August energy before the month began being very conducive to diplomacy and working out peace. I might talk about that a little bit later. I don't think a peace deal is going to be reached this week. Maybe more likely towards October, actually, but I think we may trend in the right direction. Of course, there's the super hurricane Aaron that actually weakened a little bit overnight. Thank goodness for that, and it's not really headed to land. There's going to be a lot of focus on domestic issues this week, generally speaking. That could be domestic in our country as well as domestic in your home. And part of the astrology and numerology and energy support set, I want to say, a lot of ascension activation we're going to be seeing as Mars and Mercury join in a sextile to energize the 4 outer planet alignment. And a lot of focus is going to be on health as we're trending, as we're getting into this cusp of Leo and Virgo. Leo's the sun, Virgo's Mercury. It's very connected to health, well-being, stuff like that. So what we're going to do as a meditation activation at the end is do a healing meditation for ourselves, for our loved ones, and the planet Earth, basically. And the other thing that's on the menu is there's likely to be increased seismic activity around the world this week and the following week. Volcanic activity, stuff like that, and partly due to a large coronal hole that's going to be in the geoaffective position today. It's coming into that position, and then it takes a little time. It actually has to be a little bit off of the center, the way that light arcs, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. Point being is that these large coronal holes create ion streams, and they energize the magnetosphere, ionosphere, which energizes the planet. So if there's anything going on underground, fault lines close, it'll likely erupt. So there could be at least one or two, like 7.5 in the next week or two. And I've done some videos about that, and I may do another one this week because I've been getting new information. But anyway, let me say a few quick hellos, then we're going to dive right into the tarot. So hello, Millie and Spree and Yvonne, welcome. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Mary. Hi, Millie again. And Kathleen, welcome. And Bob's running. Hi, Laura. Hi, Peace. Hi, Doreen of Children's School of Yoga. Lakeside Lorian. All right. You've been busy. Hey, Roseanne. Hi, India. Hi, Kyle. And hi, Dolphin. Dream number 8. And hello, Bella Swiss. And it's Brooke. Oh, hi, that's you, Brooke. Your Dolphin Dreams 8 now. Cool. Hi, Lucretia. Hello, Peace. All right. Like I like to start out with a little like a meditation card. After I drink a little tea. So it's a Sunday morning. It's warm, bright, and sunny. We're getting a big cool down here in the Northeast this week. So we did kind of talk about the beginning of August that we may see some early autumn weather, later in the month. So that's happening. I think partly due to increased volcanism around the world, though no major volcano. Well, I think the ones in Russia are at least moderate. But anyway, I think it's the culmination of a lot of different volcanoes that's enhancing volcanic ash in the stratosphere. This is just a feel. I haven't seen this on any of the geological sites or anything. It's just my own theory, to be honest. It's Josh and yay, Mr. Floyd, and hello. Working University of Colorado move-in day. Oh, okay. So that's your job now. Hello, Elizabeth. Yeah, there's a hurricane. Hurricane Aaron's off the East Coast right now. Now, if you caught my video early last week about that, I wasn't expecting that one to be the one to make landfall, and so far so good. I mean, until it happens, you never know. There's so much that we don't know about what drives the weather that we're starting to learn. My degree was meteorology, but I graduated in 1980, so I didn't have the benefit of these modern tools and the knowledge of space weather and how that affects terrestrial weather and stuff like that. But all signs are good for that one. But I think there's going to be a couple more. We're coming to the peak of hurricane season anyway, so you'd expect that anyway. So yeah. But again, they're kind of emphasizing big focus on health and healing. So this is a good week, this week and next week, to really do things to upgrade your health, whether it's emotional or mental health or physical health, breathing exercises, more yoga. We have a playlist from Doreen, Children's School of Yoga. She's done like 20 yoga classes here on the Medium channel. So if you want to do a little bit of gentle to moderate yoga, we've got that right here on the channel, thanks to Doreen, and breathing and stuff like that. But change of diets, that would work. Eating well, I'm doing the same. I think what we're experiencing, because the energy is so like high and it's accelerating, and when the energy's high, it's like the cosmic energy. I mean, you can see semblances of what's going on with the Schumann resonance, if you know how to read the Schumann charts. I did a video yesterday, an upload, to teach you the facts versus the myths of what happened when we see spikes in the Schumann resonance. Some of the reasons that might happen, some of the terrestrial weather reasons, solar reasons, as well as the unknowns. And it's the unknowns that could be the cosmic, like the higher frequencies that we can't measure yet. Well, maybe we can through the Schumann frequent resonance, right? But anyway, I have a whole video on that if you want to check that out. It's a 20-minute video. It's kind of a crash course on what the Schumann resonance is and what the graphs mean and how to navigate those, so you may understand. But point being is the frequencies and energies are very high, and when that happens, it changes our bodies. There's more energy through the body, more chi or prana. When that happens, sometimes it releases cogs in the energy fields, stuck energies. It may be past traumas from this or other lifetimes, experiences, or other reasons. And as that gets released, sometimes we experience periods of health, challenges during the process of the release. But if we can breathe through it and keep the heart open and the heart and brain connected, that connects us more with spirit and invite these higher energies in. The process of change that goes on in the body, the transformation, the ascension symptoms, if that's what it is, can happen more smoothly and quickly, basically. So it's a good time, energetically this week, to really focus on your own personal health, and maybe if you're a healer, to work on new attunements or upgrading your healing abilities also. So on that note, let me see what you guys are saying. Gracias, peace. So Mayor, you've been waking up a lot in the middle of the night. I don't know how many hours of sleep I got last night, 2, 3, 4 maybe. And yeah, the dreams. Yeah. So I think a lot of us are working through these subconscious things now also. And saw some beautiful shooting star. Yeah, we're still in Perseids. We're just not in the peak anymore. And I think there's actually another lesser meteor shower that happens later in the month, but I'm not sure. Is that the Leonids, or I don't remember. Anyway, love you, family. Thank you, Josh, Mr. Floyd, and those of you guys that have YouTube channels. Let our community know who you are and what your channels are, please, if you choose. I'm not trying to be a control freak here, but if you choose. 1984. You 1984. Yeah, that can open the door for a big conversation also. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of protests around Great Britain and around the world. Part of the protest is people don't exactly like the idea of like these AI eyes, taking picture to people on the street, supposedly to find dangerous criminals to lock them up. Anyway, that's a whole other story, and I'm kind of creating a conscious intention, being that it's tarot time, to actually get into the tarot sometime within the first half hour, because I know some of you that come in regular probably snickering right now. It's like, yeah, that might be a good idea. But if you're new, this is our community hour. Also, we get into these long conversations, and then it's all part of tarot time anyway. 1111, very good. Oh, it's 1984 when you graduated, so you're only a few years younger. Oh, from high school. Yeah, you're actually more than a few years younger than me, as I suspected. That would be about 8 years since I graduated in 76. Hello, Karma. Horses triggers hope. And horses do trigger hope. Great handle. So we're going to start out with our meditation card, and I'm asking Spirit to help us to tap into the energies of the week to pick the best focal point for our meditations this week via tarot card. That feels good. I don't know why, but I'm hearing Neil Young singing "Cinnamon Girl." Maybe that was no, that wasn't popular in 1984. More like 1970. That was an old Neil Young tune. Maybe somebody needs more cinnamon. It can actually help lower blood pressure, or at least support that. At least supporting lowering the blood pressure. Anyhow, all right, clearing my mind. We have a little saying around here for those that are kind of new, and that is, if you're thinking, you're not connecting, and if you're connecting, you're not thinking. That means connecting to spirit, God, or source, or the other side, or our guides or angels. So I have to stop thinking so I can connect. And then it's just like my hand just moves. It's almost like somebody's moving my hand when I let it happen. Let me do this upright. Two of Wands. This is almost like a pillar with a figure around it. So like a portal, I mean, with the two pillars on the side, almost like that. And he's holding the world. So perhaps as you go into meditation, you may get some insights of what's going on in the world energetically. Maybe physically also, but also in your own world or your own personal world, basically, and maybe getting advice on what your next step is. So sometimes the figures can be spirit guides. So meditating with tarot, like any other meditation, it starts with presence. A little secret, well, not so secret, but we'll call it a secret anyway, that we teach here on the channel. If you want to learn how to get into a light trance or lighter meditative state conducive to connecting more with spirit and getting messages from spirit, what you do is you start with a couple of deep cleansing breaths. Then just relax your shoulders. Just feel any weight off your shoulders. Relax your chin and cheeks. Then relax your forehead. And if you do that, the rest of your body is going to relax on its own. These are the three principal tension points for most of us. If you do that 10 to 11 seconds, you can go right into the state to receive from spirit, basically. So get nice. So when we meditate, we want to get present. We're not our bodies, or we're not our thoughts or emotions. We're energy and frequency. We have bodies, we have emotions, we have thoughts, but that's not who we are. So when we get very present, then we are who we truly are, which is spirit, source, energy, divine, whatever you want to call it. So you want to get that present. And then when you're really present, be aware of what you're feeling. Try not to go into thinking. Just set a gentle intention in your state of presence. What am I thinking? While staying present and not going into your conscious personal mind. And then in your mind, just step into the card. So it's just like stepping into the card, and just how do you feel as soon as you step into the card? And that's the first step. You can also find your hands or feet. That's a technique I learned from what's his name, Robert Moss, the author of Conscious Dreaming, when I went to one of his workshops many moons ago. And also in Carlos Castaneda's novels, they teach that. But anyway, so you step in, and this may be one of your guides, but when you step in, you're stepping into a whole new world. It's like a new energy, a new reality, a separate reality. That's a Carlos Castaneda title also. And you step in, and And then there's a lot that you don't see. This is just the doorway. So you step into a whole scene. It's all, you know, multi-dimensional. There may be other guides, other beings, other scenes. You step in and you can just get information. Because again, this is the portals. You know, these are the pillars. So it's like stepping into the portal, maybe meeting this guide and ask for advice or information. What's your next step in terms of maybe discovering what your ultimate life purposes in New Earth, in this new ascended Earth that we're coming into. Maybe there's a specific issue or challenge. You can get insights that way. So you can utilize this meditation to get practical information basically for your life. And I think that will help. All right. So what are you guys having to say here? Mixing your peptides, okay. We're talking about food. I have strawberries that are about to go. Maybe I can make jam. Millie, make jam. Yummy potato soup. Oh my God. You guys are funny here. All right, let's do a 3-card spread. 44 on chat, sacred number. So the 3-card spread's really picking up on the energies of the week, basically, and it may lead into other conversations. I don't know if anybody has any insights into like the summit that happened in Alaska with Putin and Donald Trump. Is it like pomp and circumstance, and just like a big show, and the real actions happening behind the scenes? Which is what I believe personally. That's my take. It's kind of like one time when that's what I'm trying to say. I had when I was young a little bit of, we'll just say, scuffles with the law, and I wound up going to court, and supposedly I was getting a hearing, but what I discovered is that the decision on what my sentence was to be was already decided. It wasn't going to matter anything I was going to say. The judges and lawyers met behind. They decided before the whole hearing started, and that's really how things, generally speaking, operate in our world, in our judicial world. And we're talking about world laws. When we talk about war, that's basically like crimes against humanity, crimes against the earth, crimes against each other. I mean, it's basically international criminalism. Is that even a word? But you get the idea. So I had a vision. I've shared it on several of my psychic forecast videos. Had this about 3, 4, 5 months ago, and I remote viewed into this area where Trump was there, Zelensky, Putin, other people were there, generals were there, military people were there. I believe I was in Ukraine, but I'm not sure where I was physically, but I feel like I was in Ukraine. And I was like, well, is this a big peace summit? No, they were discussing the trends of war, like what's going to happen next and what's the next step. Again, it's just a vision. You could take it somewhat with a grain of salt if you want, but I do believe that that's really, at least generally speaking, how things work out. Remember, war's profitable and also drives global power, basically. So it's a tool that creates certain effects and keeps certain people in power, or allows new people or groups or factions to be in power, as the case may be. So once we're able to crack the code, so to speak, of how things operate, then we start to gain a lot of insight, and then we can transcend that, and then we can vibrate higher into the physical, into the collective, and that starts to change the way things happen around the world, especially if enough of us are doing that, basically. So that's my take. I'm thinking, and I'm hoping I'm right, that we'll have like an end of the war by the end of October. I maybe I'm being a little bit overly optimistic. I don't know, but that's my feeling right now. Anyways, so what are you guys saying? Oh, you can't interact, but listening, Colleen. Well, you're interacting now, so that's cool. A bit smoky. Yeah, we've had smoke all summer. Right now, the smoke is low here in the Catskills. It's there, but it's smoke. There's a lot of fires, Lindsay. Oh, I'm sorry, but wherever you are in the fires, let's send energy to put the fires out. And remember, people that may have jumped on a little bit later, we're going to do a little transmission and meditation, like an energy upgrade for healing at the very end of this. So anyhow, all right, let's do our 3-card spread. So I don't have the dates of live streams this week. I know we have a new moon forecast coming up, new moon. I'll probably do Friday night because it's like at 2 a.m. here on Saturday morning. And that's a powerful new moon. It's 0 degrees, the void, 0 degrees of Virgo. That can open up a lot of energy and a lot of new information in our collective fields and the earth fields. So there'll be a lot to talk about with that, and happening in a week. So we're the third quarter now, I believe, of the moon. Moon's what, in Gemini, right? Yeah, moon in Gemini. All right, so let me stop thinking so I can start connecting again. Funny, because Spirit's showing me this image as I'm doing this. Hold on a second, I have to stop thinking. Okay, and it's basically like it looks like infinity signs between the hands. So I think it's like Spirit's way of saying, yeah, do some Reiki for yourself, or energy. It doesn't have to be Reiki, but some form of energy work for yourself and others, and that augments any other kind of healing that you're doing, basically. So what do we have here? Ooh, a victory card. It's nice. Right, energies look good. Generally speaking, this is like victory after strife. I think something is successful. Yeah, especially I think for a lot of us, we're solving something. Like many, maybe I know it's true with me. And I think it's just kind of in the ethers. But I don't know if you guys feel like you've been in some kind of either a weird funk like the last 4 or 6 weeks, or you're just not up to snuff, or whatever it is. But I think what's happening, the energies now are helping us to process something, whether it's like old stories that are surfacing, or how we're reacting or responding to things in our own lives, or but it just feels like old stuff is coming up. And I think these energies are very conducive to that right now, kind of the higher frequencies, more chi, more energy. It dislodges anything that's stuck. And when things are stuck, they have to rise to the surface. And when things rise to the surface, it's going to register either physically, emotionally, or both. And that's sort of one of the foundational practices in my program called Power Attunements, that some of you are aware of. It starts out as a law of attraction program, but what it really is, it's a complete energetic makeover if you do the program properly on all levels. And so that's maybe it's my time to talk a little bit more about that, and to work on getting that information out more. But this is the 6 of Wands or 6 of Rods, the Page of Pentacles, and the 8 of Cups reversed. This could be about news, about offers. I think it's showing me negotiations. Like I said, I don't think this recent summit, I mean, and it's not just Russia, Ukraine. There's also the Middle East. There's the issues in Gaza now. There's other conflicts around the world, basically. As said, I'm just seeing a lot of form, a lot of pomp and circumstance, and certain people getting credit when the things are a little bit more probably predetermined than most people realize. But I think it's also showing like some news coming out, so we may see more coming out in the news in general. I've been seeing a lot about vaccines and things that went on around the pandemic recently, and how things were handled or could have been handled, and maybe some of the agendas behind it. And yeah, it's just kind of just what was it, 2 days ago, I was just kind of meditating, and my mom was around. My brother passed recently, so my family's been around from Spirit, and and I've had a lot of autoimmune issues my whole life. And I was told when she was living that it all started after my first vaccine. Basically, I think it was 4 months or 6 months, and then all of a sudden I had like hives and eczema all over my body, developed asthma and all kinds of stuff. And then as she was coming through, she was saying, acknowledging that the vaccines probably upset my system, but she's also saying that even if she knew that at the time that could happen, she would have had me vaccinated anyway, because in her mind, and we all have our own views on it, right? I tend to take a more balanced approach being a Libra, but the idea is that, to protect this is just one perspective, to protect me, the child, from the dangers of something like polio or smallpox or whatever the heck it is. So in her mind, the risks outweigh the benefits outweigh the risks, right? And I think that's what it should always be. When we decide these things for our own bodies, the problem is we don't always know all the risks. And I think that's what's really coming out, is that there were certain risks that were known. And again, this is conjecture based on my own research as well as my own intuition, that certain risks were known, but not adequately or disclosed at all, basically. And I think this is some of the stuff that's going to be surfacing more and more and coming out more and more, basically. So for whatever reason, that thought came into my mind, and I think it's just because more is becoming known, basically. And this is more hopeful and optimistic. This is a good week to solve things, and that's what I'm getting from these cards. In your own life, if there's been a conflict with a family member, solve it. Being very overly simplistic, because I know family issues are very complex. You can solve it in two ways. One, you talk to the person, work it out, or two, you just say adios and close the door on that person, right? Not that hard, right? But then, of course, I know there's a lot of subtleties. But some of you may be getting a little bit of extra money. Good news around money. That's sometimes the Page of Pentacles. The Six of Wands is victory. There's a wreath. There's people here. He's coming victoriously, but it looks like he's been through a battle and he came through it victoriously. And I think we've all been through our personal battles lately. And this is saying, if we're doing the work, I know, right now there's 36 online, but, usually there's about 1,000 that'll watch this. I know we all have our own our own stories or whatever, but in any event, what was I going to say? But this is kind of coming out of it, so I think that's good news. And then the Eight of Cups, that's kind of seeking higher ground. It's reversed, so but I think because the other two cards are forward, it kind of leads more towards the divinatory meaning rather than the ill-dignified meaning of it. But I think it's also showing, because it looks very peaceful, very meditative. It's like, for some of us, maybe we've been there, done it, we've accomplished something, and like, what's next? And the other thing is, I think this is kind of showing moving away from a lot of struggles and strife, and that can be stressful people. I think it's just showing like more knowledge, more information, and more spiritual energy is coming through. So anyway, let's see, what are we saying? My elders was given vitamin K shot right away after birth, and with one day of release back in the hospital, I had jaundice too. I wonder if that's the reason. It's like the baby knows what to do. Why are we pumping the baby up with vitamin K? Did our ancestors do that? People may be listening saying, well, in our ancestors, a lot of kids and moms died in childbirth. But if you really look deeper into history, when there's more of a matriarchal practice, when there's more done by midwives and more in nature, less women died in childbirth, less children died. I mean, some did, some do today also. But anyway, I'm digressing. So yeah, sometimes the people have trouble with that. But yeah, it's like we come into the world perfect. Why do we need a vitamin K shot? Because we come in, it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, maybe in some cases it's warranted, depending if there's like some issue when the baby's born. But a healthy baby, that's my own opinion. But anyway, so So I feel like there are vaccines that are perfectly fine, like one many. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm anti like withholding of information and tricking the people and making vaccines a tool for profit rather than helping people. That's what I'm against, not the shots themselves. To be clear, what kind of cleanse are you doing? I do like a lot of water cleansing, some periodic fasting sometimes. Sweating a lot, but there's many different kinds of cleanse. I'm thinking about doing a parasite cleanse. I just did a whole oregano thing because I had a UTI I developed. After 2 doses of the oregano oil, it went away. So, oregano oil can support the body's ability to fight infections and pathogens as well as other things. But it might not be a bad idea to do parasite cleanses and wormwood, black walnut, and diatomaceous earth. Those three, kind of cover a lot, if not all, the basis when it comes to cleansing parasites. If you use diatomaceous earth, please use food grade. Don't use the stuff they put in pools. Thank you very much. And there's so many heavy metals. Yeah, so it's good to do those cleanses for heavy metals. Yeah. I had polio my last life, and I can, through hindsight, I know that because as a kid, I drove my mom crazy that she had to keep telling me I never get polio because I got the polio shot. Basically, I drove her crazy with that, and then I used to have recurring dreams when of being an older man and being heavy and in a chair and trying to get up, and my family members or people around me begging me not to do it. I did it anyway and fell flat on my face. I guess I was stubborn in that lifetime too. What can you say? Different lifetime, just patterns of repeating energy. And then when I was 24, I had this insane dream where I experienced bits of that lifetime, and I just knew exactly what happened, that I had polio my last life and rheumatic fever. So I'm not going to go into the whole story. It was an interesting lifetime. And I never had that dream again, not once after that. So anyway, yeah, don't want to get polio. Yeah. Then there's the whole other argument, the George Carlin argument about, yeah, when we were kids, me and my buddy, we swam in the Hudson River. There was feces floating around. We didn't care. We swam it in anyway. And then he goes on to say, that during that time, some of our buddies were, people were getting polio, but not me and my buddies. Why? Because we were swimming around feces in the Hudson River, basically. Point being is that, and I'm not against vaccines, especially something like polio or smallpox, but you can also work with the natural immune system and at least reduce your odds of getting, something serious like that. Should you, be a little bit skittish about getting shots or whatever. So anyways, so I think I got the basic energy. The other thing, I think this is a good time to just sort of step back, be a little bit quiet, a little bit more meditative. The moon's waning. It's going to come into news. So I think there's been a lot of activity, a lot of energy. I think it's settling. I think towards around midweek, we may, start to hear about another, big earthquake somewhere or more geological activity or things starting to perk up later in the week. But I think we have at least a few days, we can just kind of step back a little bit. And I think, around the world, there's like more meetings, but I'm seeing like a lot of protests too, and like things like tear gas or stuff like that using to control crowds. I mean, I'm also aware, obviously, what's going on in Washington, D.C., though I didn't talk a lot about it, though I predicted it, but I don't talk a lot about it. And in other cities also. I don't know why, but Milwaukee came up in my mind. Anybody out in that area, there may be something going on around like the Wisconsin area, the Great Lakes, maybe, some protests or something like that. Some of us may get good news about money, a new job, a raise or something like that. Good time to work on the foundation. So there's a good period to do like housework, like if you need to do repairs on the house or do your grounding meditations, your rooting and grounding and stuff of that nature. And let's see, what else are you guys going? Hi, Global Music. I've been long. Yeah, I don't like the I like the flowers. Is this the comment? Yeah, I like that also. Yeah, I do too. I've been able to avoid antibiotics several times by using oregano oil. One time it didn't work because I had a bad toothache, and yeah, it's an infection, and I did the round of it, and while I was doing it, the pain went away, but within 2 days it came back, and then I knew I needed something pharmaceutical or something I didn't know about maybe, but anyway, not colloidal silver. Nano silver doesn't build up in the body. This is good information because colloidal silver does. People have been known to turn blue through colloidal silver. So nano silver, that's good. And Teaswood is going to do peace, but I've seen used for yoni steams and other stems under the pillow. Okay, I'm missing some of your conversation, but that's okay. Mugwort, mugwort's a good herb also. Cloves for I use a lot of clove oil and I have the doTERRA line, so that's On Guard, and that has clove oil in it also. For the Young Living, that's thieves oil. Yeah, I was using a lot of clove. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, it wasn't just oregano oil. I do it internally. I mix it up with some coconut oil. You can't do it. You can't just take oregano drops. It's so freaking costly. You'll be really sorry if you just try to do it straight. So the way I do, most people do it in capsules. They make little capsules. What I do is I mix it up in coconut milk down the old hatch. It burns going down, but then it goes away. And I do about double, personally for myself, double what's recommended. But anyway, essential oils and herbs, they're medicine also, and they can have side effects too. So it's good to know what you're doing, right? In fact, we get many of our pharmaceuticals are derived from nature. Funny how that works, is it not? So anyhow, we have the medicine cards. Or no, these are the Native American tarot. Medicine card will be next. This is Native American tarot, so I'll just get another message, and then we'll move on. Hello, Amanda. Welcome, beautiful soul. Yeah, so Mary knows a lot about working with peptides now. She's done a lot of research, right? Biohackers are a different breed entirely. Okay, thanks for sharing that with us. In our grandparents' day, they had an herbal garden. Yeah, I know. I know. That Jethro Kloss book, Back to Eden, that came out in the 1930s, I believe. Great book on neurology. It's the first one I ever read. So our current program was founded by Rockefeller to sell oil-based medicines. Yeah, I think that's a significant part of it. The Rothschilds, the Vanderbilts. So there's a few of the big, what is it? The globalists or deep state. The ones that have all the money. I mean, the structure is changing now. It's almost like the cabal's changing, or it's a new cabal, or whatever. It's all changing. It's like new money versus old money. That whole thing. But in any regard, clearing my mind. This is the card we got. This is polygamy. That's the 9 of hatchets, which would be swords. The 9 of swords. Polygamy. That's an interesting. I don't think Spirit's reckoning us to become polygamous, honestly. But there's like symbology. Could just be 9 of swords is the card that comes up with it. There's a lot of if there's anxiousness, if people are having trouble sleeping or stuff like that. So let me see if I can get information about that. I mean, in some, different nations around the native people and others, there were those types of practices. So, it could just be sort of a symbolic reference about, connecting, with, family or extended family. And there's a spirit saying something. They show me the Six of Cups in my mind. I think what they're trying to say is, if you're having any stress or anxiety coming up, loss of sleep, unexplained anxiety, depression. I mean, certainly part of it's the energy, because the higher energies can do that. But I think some of it is like old family wounds are starting to surface or stuff like that, or things of that nature. And it's just good to feed it love and acknowledge it and feed it love, basically. So I think they're just trying to say, that's part of the process that's going on. It crossed my mind, Mary. It crossed my mind. Hello, good global music. Yeah, I've been up a lot too. And hi, Millie again. I also like She's of the Wood YouTube channel. She doesn't teach us how to work with. Oh, beautiful. She's in Oregon. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that channel. Let me post that up again. She's of the Woods on YouTube. And Mike says maybe it's insinuating how the bad people. Didn't think about that. Interesting perspective. All right. So anyway, yeah, I know it's a little bit of an odd one to come up, but it's always symbolic, and I think it's with this Nine of Swords or hatchet, just chipping away at some of the old the old stories, basically. Anyway, that's my own take. So let me move on. So the medicine cards, this is covering North American, a few South American animals primarily. So this would be our totem animals for the week. Yeah, right. Got to keep them bloodlines pure. Yeah. And that polygamy card better mean I get more than one life. Yeah, you do. We all have more than one potential. You're teaching our young about. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, and the days gone by when there wasn't medicine, there wasn't a lot of knowledge. I'll put it this way, that we survived, humanity survived, partly by men getting their hands on as many women as possible, because not all babies made it, not all got born, some died very young. So people had to be prolific. So I think polygamy, was an accepted thing, at certain junctures in history, basically. For the ladies, that would also explain why men are such dogs. LOL. It's part of the genetics. Let me hide that comment. Sorry. What else are you guys saying? People with new businesses have had a fortune. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. All right, Lindsay. Schools here, and I know people in the schools, and they've showed us the book. All right, so yeah, you guys are having a lot of good conversations. Let me clear my mind again. Take my glasses off for a second. Right to here. Interesting. The skunk. Do I still have a comment up? All right. That was an accident. So skunks are about reputation. because skunks kept buying their reputation. Like, you see a skunk, you're going to give it a wide berth. Too bad dogs don't do the same thing, right? So it's really about reputation. So I think one of the things is that Spirit is saying, especially people that are that are working or have businesses or whatever, perhaps issues of reputation will come up, or this is a good time to enhance your reputation in the public. But they're giving me another message that I feel like Spirit's saying, but that sometimes we make judgments about others or about the government or society based on the reputation. Like, in other words, our government have a reputation of lying to us, right? And to withholding important information and facts to drive certain agendas. Maybe it's just a reminder, let's not judge things by their reputation, but just be present in the now and assess things as they come up in the present. Certainly learn from the past and consider it. But I think that's one of the bigger messages also, is not to jump to conclusions just based on other people's reputation, whether that's relationships in your own life or people in your own life, or what's going on in the world. And certainly, people don't change. If people have a reputation about something, they're likely to do the same thing. But some reputations are earned and some are not earned. Some are kind of forced to drive a certain narrative about a certain person or people or government officials or whatever it is. So I think it's just being mindful of that. I think that's part of the message there. Yeah, no, skunks are wonderful. You just have to respect them, right? That's their reputation. You just have to respect skunks. I mean, I've seen skunks, and they're beautiful too. I'd like to, get close, and then when I see it turn around and lift the tail, that's when I know to get the heck out of there. So anyway, that's skunk medicine. So let's see. Next on the list, I've got this is the Isis Oracle deck. It's like I can't remember. The skunks are actually awesome. Thank you for that. Canada doesn't want you. I'm sorry, Canada doesn't want you. Don't get skunked. Yeah, that's right. Don't get skunked. Yeah. And if your family tree is straight, you're either a redneck or you're a royalty. That's an old comedy skit. Yeah. Sounds familiar. Is that all right? Thank you, everybody. I'm just seeing, just wanted to check on your comments because you guys are on a roll today. So this is Isis Oracle deck. What we got is Rising Sun, the Divine Solar Child Reborn. So good time for rebirth, maybe to do some sun meditation or stuff of that nature. And to get outside and honor the sun. And we're in the season where the sun's going into the underworld in the northern hemisphere to support the crops according to certain pagan and indigenous traditions. So the Divine Solar Child Reborn. So I think just saying that we're having a bit of a renaissance in consciousness now, as as we get little lulls and these spikes of energies. There's awakenings that are happening, so there's a certain amount of renaissance. I know, what a great card, right? So anyway, I think that's it. So it's a good time to really, again, meditate, step back a little bit, and to welcome in the rising sun in our own lives. It's like a new day, a new dawn. Maybe work on whatever needs to be cleared. You can just ask Spirit to do it. Feel the energy or hum, clearing any stuck energies. Do your breathing, yoga breaths, qigong, tai chi, however you channel energy, and clear that and get ready for the new dawn. Basically, talking about Yoko Ono. Yeah, there's something about her that just did not yeah, that did not, it doesn't feel right to me. Yeah, even back in the day. So let's see. I've got cards came right out. So this is the card that just popped right out when I was about to mix them up. Synergy, we've had this before. The frequency of synergy supports our allowances and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in a new way of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting uh, co-creations can give birth to a new reality. And as I read it, I feel like they're saying, in fact, it's like, what would you like your life to be, or what the kind of like a new creation would you like to manifest, basically, and try to find that point of synergy when you're meditating, where you allow you like that creation or your desire to have a consciousness in the life of its own. And it's to kind of feel like you and that are starting to blend synergistically with each other or something like that. I think that makes some sense. Anyway, well, thanks for the music, everybody. Yeah, it's interesting about the whole thing. I still like that song, "The Ballad of John and Yoko." That's like, I think that was on "Let It Be." You know, one of the last Beatles songs. Um, yeah, the newspaper said she's gone to my head. They look just like two gurus in drag, or some line like that. uh, the way things are going, they're gonna crucify me. Prophetic, huh? All right. Last but not least, because I want to end at a reasonable hour, and I still want to do a little mini transmission with you guys. So let's just do a quick angel message, and we'll get right down into it. Okay. We got it. Ear chakras. I think we pulled this once before. Notice messages that appear as sound, music. Hello, guys, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These are messages, are real answers to your prayer. So when that song pops up in your mind randomly, pay attention to it, and pay attention to which line comes up in your mind, because Spirit very often speaks to us through music. And in Lilydale, I never met him. I think he passed before I started to go there. But they talked about, there's this guy that was known as the singing medium, and he'd go up and do messages, but he'd get messages, he'd start singing songs, basically. And that's how he received from Spirit, from those that have crossed over. There's another card here. You're profoundly clairvoyant. Trust what you see in your mind's eye as well as with your physical sight, for your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. So ear chakras is more connected to the throat, and of course clairvoyance is more connected to the third eye. So I think this is about working with and raising your chakras and trusting your intuition. And I think it's Spirit's way of saying that the energies are higher now. Maybe you've cleared some obstructions in your energetic fields, personally and collectively. So now you're going to start to get new or stronger intuitive messages. So be open. Again, when you're not thinking, then you're open to receive, and trust what you get, basically. I'll bet you do. I bet you do. Sometimes I do also, but not to the degree that medium got it. Yeah. And Mary's saying, all my messages are musical, all from songs. I can do other clairs, but I have that one. Very good. And hi, peace. Or if I didn't flash one of your comments earlier, love, they speak to me in lyrics of songs. Absolutely. Yeah. So there you have it. Very good. Very good. All right. So let's do a little group thing. So are we ready? And Yeah, I feel like the master teacher here. They're the name that I give to a collective of beings that are interdimensional, that work with my energetic field. And if I'm leading a meditation, they're able to work with you and access your energy fields and assist you in natural upgrades, natural raising of the frequencies that move through you and around you to help you with your own personal upgrades. So the idea is healing. So let's just get nice and relaxed and be very aware of the earth right now. So I think the idea, we're going to do some toning, maybe a little light language, and vibrate at a resonance. It's going to be really healing to the earth, because the earth supports our healing. So if we're able to assist in the earth's healing and balancing and upgrading her vibration, it's going to upgrade our own. And then it's going to connect us more with the cosmos too. So it's interesting in a way that if you connect with the earth and vibrate with the earth, you automatically connect with the cosmos. And the reason being, I know some of you thought of it already, it's because where did the earth come from? It came from the cosmos, to begin with. So there's no separation. It's all connected. So once you understand and own that, and you own that through the heart. So, when we're separated and we feel separate from others, it's because our heart and brain have been separated through social conditioning, through programming. So this is about unification now, and unifying, heaven and earth, basically, and our own heart is the unifying field of those. So just take a moment just to relax and just vibrate on the heart. We'll do a little heart-brain coherence now. And then we're going to do a little bit of toning to vibrate at the frequency that's going to help the earth, help to heal the earth, help all our children, heal yourself. And anybody that you know that could use some healing now, just bring them into our circle right now. Relax, breathe, relax shoulders, chin and cheeks, and forehead and temples. Greetings, what a lovely group of souls you are. We have the salt and we have the pepper. Salt and pepper may be very different. One's white, one's black, one's salty, one's spicy. But when you put them together in food, oh my, so good. They just harmonize perfectly and beautifully. The yin and the yang, the dark and the light, the salty or the sweet. You could, I don't know if sugar and, all right, I just lost the channel with that thought. I don't know if sugar and pepper would taste too good together. Why not? Why not? Did you try it? Did you try sugar and pepper? Maybe they taste great together. Ha ha ha. But at this time, relax and breathe. And just imagine, if you know what the 10 of Wands looks like, visualize that. If not, it's the card where there's 10 rods on the figure's back, and he's bent over, or she's bent over, and slowly moving forward. And just feel the vibrations from the cosmos. We will assist you in raising the frequencies now. Just visualize energy from the cosmos starting to dislodge those wands one at a time on your back. One, then another, as the vibration gets stronger. And visualize and feel that all those wands are lifting. They're either, what are the words? We're not always good with words. Dissolving, dissipating, releasing. So you feel light as a feather, feeling like you're very, very tall now. Your feet are in the earth, your root chakra is in the earth, but your head is in the cosmos, channeling that beautiful prana and chi, that beautiful life force of the cosmos through you. You are the channel. You are the master teacher now. Through you, through your body, into the earth. Just hold that intention. We do not know if we can stretch the channel's vocal cords enough. Oh, just hold that space, hold that vibration, feel it resonating through you. Joy, Sisi bapose iandoa yaoria yo nitia show Sisea Hihimitiato Wakushebaha Wikichianeto Mawa Ayahong Mawa Ayahong Maya Ayahong As you vibrate, the earth vibrates. There's no separation. You are the earth vibrating together in synergy, in balance. So you may grow together, heal together, ascend together. Just send all that beautiful toning energy into the earth, vibrating the earth in the frequency of the tone. Just take a few breaths. You may notice, especially since your last, we'll call it rebirth, when the world ended, so to speak, in 2012, that though there's been a lot of stress, a lot of turmoil on the planet, that what happened versus what could have happened is less impactful, less harmful, less people suffer. Your earth has to settle. It's part of her geological processes. But that doesn't mean that hundreds of thousands have to die in an earthquake or tsunami. Things can be, shall we say, modified, transmuted through alchemical vibrations of joy, love, light, and ascended energies, ascended beings, so that the natural changes are less impactful, yet your planet, your conscious being, Mother Earth, does what she needs to do in her process of ascension. Keep vibrating at that earth frequency and keeping channels of light like the trees, bringing all that cosmic forces through you and into the earth. Start to deepen your breath when you're ready. And open your eyes. And that's what we got for you today. Some people put salt on watermelon. Yeah, why not? Some people, salt and sugars. Salt and I was gonna say, and chocolate's become a big thing. Salt and dark chocolate. So what is the dome? All right. Anyways, so that's what we have. What night? Probably Thursday night. I'll do the next live stream where we'll do the new moon forecast. Probably Friday night we'll do the transmission. Probably with Heather, but I haven't checked with her yet. Other than that, I'll have a few more videos this week. And again, if you want to learn the truth about the Schumann resonance, it's on the channels. The last long form upload that I did. Dispelling the myths from the facts so you can learn how to read those graphs if you want and understand when true ascension energy is happening versus local conditions around Tomsk, Russia, where they take most of the measurements. All right. Love you guys. See you. Thank you very much.